Yo, I'm back with another session. This session is amongst the first PLO hands. I think this one was recorded before the TCH one, and it actually is the first couple PLO hands. Let's just say I understand what all the hoopla is about. PLO is absolutely insane, and the less I show, the better. I don't need to be messing with that, but this vlog is really crazy. A lot of interesting hands. We're at PH Social, winning for 400 bucks. You guys can leave a like, as always, helps the channel. Enough of the talking, let's go. First hand, we look down at pocket jacks from the big blind. There's a button straddle and it's ultimate last, so when it gets to me, there's a bunch of limps. I pop it up to $25 and only get a call from Steven, who, if you may remember, if you watched a lot of the vlogs, I met at the first meetup game, and he was in the one that came out a few days ago as well, so quite the coincidence. Saw him here as well. It heads up to a flop of ace-deuce ace. Well, out of position here, I think that's a flop where we're probably way ahead most of the time and occasionally way behind, so actually put in a check. He checks as well. The turn is the jack of hearts. We fill up. Oh my gosh. Now, Steven knows I'm really aggressive, and I know he's really aggressive. So after he checks, I would bet a lot of my bluffs or semi-bluffs here. But I've actually been doing a lot of trapping lately, and I'm going to do it here again. I check, and he falls for it and bets out for $20. The river is the 10 of spades. You know, ace 10 is going to be there occasionally, but we can't be scared of monsters under the bed. But I am going to check again because he's either got an ace or nothing, right? There's not a lot that's in between. Maybe a pocket pair is now going to check back. I give him the rope, and he bets out for $65. Now, we all know what's coming, but the question is, how big does it need to be? If we're targeting an ace, I could go fairly big here, and he has seen me bluff into him really huge, and I think I probably could have went bigger. I end up settling on 150, and he almost basically snap calls. I tell him I have a full house, and he tells me we're good. I show the jacks, and we win just like that. It's always really nice to check flops and turn boats. We seem to be doing that at PH Social quite a bit. All right, we have our first PLO bomb pot that is making the vlog here at PH Social, and I'm in the small blind. What's the worst thing that could happen? Well, I look down at not the optimal starting hand, Queen 10 Deuce 6, and I know what you're thinking. How in the hell is this going to get us anywhere? Well, how about the first flop of 10 Queen 8? Okay, I mean top two pair. And then the second board, 3 10 Queen. We have top two pair where there's sets on, you know, the Queen 10 3 board and a straight on the other board. What could go wrong? Well, I still think I want to pot it, so I go ahead and do that. There is a call from a lady, and then a guy that was in the last vlog says, yeah, I pot again, and it's $200. When it gets back to me, look, am I thrilled about it? No, but I mean, in theory, right, unless he has a set of queens or tens, we have a lot of equity against everything, and we're likely good on one board. There's two people to beat, and if I call, the lady that just flatted might fold, so I think we just have to go with it. I put in the call, and it gets to the lady, and she starts to go into the tank, and I really want her to fold because it's difficult to beat two people if she's got a draw. I think we can beat the one guy on one board, and eventually she doesn't love it, but she puts in the fold. So I'm heads up with this guy, don't know what he has. The turns are the jack of clubs and the 8 of hearts, and the lady lets out a sigh like she would have hit the hearts. So I don't think we have to fade hearts. The rivers are the 4 of diamonds and the 4 of spades, so we don't improve at all. We still have just two pair on each board, and he shows me jack 9 as 2 of his cards, and it doesn't compute to me that the top board had an 8 come on the river, so eventually, we all figure out that I get scooped just like that. Man, these PLO bomb pots, maybe I should just stay away. I mean, this can be absolute carnage, and later on, it's going to get even crazier. Trust me. So we lose that one and give away all of our profits from the jack's hand. This one gets kind of weird. I have ace-jack on the button straddle, and I get to act last. I pop it up to $20 and only get one call from a guy I have never played with before to a flop of 10-10-4. He checks to me, and I think a value bet is in order, right? I mean, outside of a 10 or a pocket pair, aren't we ahead almost all the time? So when he checks to me, I continue for $15, and he puts in the call. The turn is the 10 of diamonds, and it checks to me again. I think I should be putting in another bet here, right? Because the logic is still the same. He's not folding a pair, he's not folding a 10, and I think if I bet here, it allows him to check, and I can just check back rivers and realize if ace high is good. But I do check here, and I don't really love that play. The river is the 9 of hearts, and he bets out into me now for $20. This is really odd. I don't know if 8s, 7s, 6s are finding a bet here, and as I said, ace high really could be good a lot of the time. Is he betting a 4? I'm not entirely sure. He could have quads, fine, but outside of that, I just don't think there's a lot of value in his limp calling range that wants to lead into me on the river here, except for like no equity bluffs. I put in the call. I tell him I have ace high, and he shows me an ace with a 9. So I think if we bet on the turn any reasonable size, we win the hand, and if not, he hits that 3-outer on the river, and I pay him off with ace high. What do you think? Would you guys have called that river? It's time to start clowning around real hard, as I usually do for no reason at all. I open up Jack 7 of spades under the gun, another premium holding, and get 3 callers. Well, you know, the flop is pretty decent. Queen, 9, ace with 2 spades. We have a flush draw, about as much as you can ask for. I don't always bet my flush draws, but this time it just feels like the thing to do. I bet out $40 into a field of 3 other callers. What could go wrong? Well, I get a call from the guy from the last hand who had ace 9, and I wonder what hand he could have this time. The turn is the 10 of clubs. We pick up equity, and I just started to feel kind of weird, but I also was like, hey, we picked up equity. I should continue and put in another bet. I put in a bet of $85. And right as I put in the bet, I realized this, you know what? There's a lot of 2 pairs on this board, huh? There's straights. There's just, it's a really thin range of hands he's going to fold, like ace jack. I mean, ace queen is there, king queen, king jack. I mean, king queen might find a fold, but there's a lot of 2 pairs, ace 9, queen 9. He looks at me and goes, all right, buddy, I'm all in. He covers me, and we're getting, you know, a decent price with a ton of equity. I literally look away and push in my chips. I can't bear to see what happens. He asks once or twice. I hold up one finger. It's not the middle finger, and we're going once. The river is the 5 of spades. I inform him. I get there, and he is not thrilled and shows me ace 9 again. Wow. Sometimes I've said if you monkey around, it can work, but usually not. We get away with it. Let's go. I'm not going to show what my hand is yet. I'm going to let it be a little of a surprise. I'm in the big blind here. Under the gun, who is a relative short stack, bets out for $15. There's a ton of callers, and by relative short stack, I mean he has exactly $103. And I look down at ace deuce offsuit. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, I know what you're thinking. This is a bad idea. Don't do it. But, I mean, come on, right? He probably has a better hand every time. Maybe king queen sometimes, but there's a lot of dead money. I've got an ace. So I pop it up to 100, and maybe even the guy folds. I hope he maybe calls and everyone else folds. The guy does go all in for 103. That's not good. And then there's 2 other callers. Wow. How could this have happened to me? How did we get here? Well, the flop comes 4, 6, ace. Yes, we did it, I think. I continue for $100. And both of them fold. That's right. Can we beat the guy that's all in? I tell him, hey, buddy, if you have an ace, you're welcome. I just gave you a lot of protection. And if you don't, I'm ahead. He shows me pocket 7s. The turn is a deuce. The river's a king. And that's right. We take down a massive pot with ace deuce. Actually, the guy on my right was a subscriber. And one of his friends on his right was like, oh, that's in the squeeze range, huh? Ace deuce. And I'm like, yeah, it is. I've got queen 10 of clubs on the button straddle here. There is an open from the hijack to 20. The call from the guy on my left, who is a new guy that sat down, and I flat as well, to a flop of 6, ace 5 with 1 club. Well, that does not help. But interestingly, it checks over to me. Now, not one that I really want to stab on, but I'm going to evaluate turns, so I check as well. The turn is a 10, and it checks to me again. Now, I'm fairly convinced we have the best hand, so I put in a small bet of $15, knowing that I've seen enough traps with aces, but it is enough to where I think it's going to discourage people from calling with nothing, just like king, queen high. The first guy calls, and the second guy calls as well. Okay, that is interesting. The river is the 8 of diamonds, and I'm hoping it checks to me so I can check back. But the guy on my left, who, keep in mind, is just check, bets out for $45. This guy just sat down. I don't know him at all. The pre-flop raiser folds, and it's on me. Lately, I have not been doing a lot of hero calling, and is this even a hero call? I mean, what hand goes check? I really convinced myself that he's got, like, some type of straight draw here, like 7-8 that just whiffed, or, you know, queen jack, something like that, that can call a bet on the turn, potentially, and then have to bluff rivers. Does he have 2 pair? Did he go 5-8, 6-8 suited, ace-8? I don't know. Eventually, I put in maybe conceived as a light call, and he shows me a hand I could not have put him on. That's right, he shows ace-king. This is what I'm talking about. People call me a dummy for flatting small suited aces and not opening them. People do not 3-bet ace-king all the time at 1-2, and it gets real weird real fast. It's time for the PLO bomb pot I was talking about. That gets really crazy. If you're someone that only plays Hold'em and hasn't tried PLO, let this hand be a warning about what I'm talking about. We've got Jack 9 4-4, okay? You know, what's, again, not a great hand, but when the bottom board comes 4-5-5, we have the third nuts, and the other board comes 7 Jack 10, so we've got top pair. I go ahead and pot it here. Obviously, we've got a boat, and I get a few calls. The turns are the 7 of hearts and the ace of hearts. The top board, we kind of have a bluff catcher now, which doesn't even exist in PLO. And the bottom board, we have a boat. Now, if anyone has 5x, they've got potentially a boat already with 5-7 or 5-4, or a ton of equity. So with bottom boat here, it gets really, really weird. That being said, I do pot it again. The guy on my left says, oh, you potted it, huh? Well, how about all in? And then another guy who has been playing very tight says, yeah, that sounds good to me. I'm all in as well. It gets to me, and it's not too much more, so obviously I put in the chips. I inform them I have a bottom boat, and I humbly request that someone tell me if I'm behind. They both give me the thumbs up. You're good, buddy. So they don't show all their cards, but they both have a 5. That one guy has pocket 10s, and one guy has 2-5 of hearts. So the problem with PLO is we have to fade all of their kickers on the bottom board as they both have a 5. The rivers are the 6 of clubs and the king of diamonds. We literally have a jack on the top board. I show my full house, and we're good on that board. The guy with pocket 10s doesn't boat up on either board, and 2-5 of hearts scoops on the top board. Wow. You see what I mean? Like, I basically just let both of them free roll my whole stack on that board, right? Which is why PLO can get real weird real fast. But we did make a lot of money on that hand. I've got 9-7 offsuit on the button straddle, and you're thinking, really, huh? Ace-deuce, Jack 7, 9-7, really? Well, just let me explain. I'm not going to open it, but the guy on my right opens to $20, and he gets to me ultimate last. Now, the guy on my right's name is Cameron. Great guy. I've talked about this a few times. When I sat down and pulled out the camera, he's like, hey, man, you have a vlog? What is it? I'm CH Poker. And he was like, yes, I love your vlogs, and showed me that he watched like all of them with like the red line across. So I was like, my man. And you guys know me. I like to give a little bit of action. So great guy. Got to talk to him and his friend Douglas for a while. So really nice guys. And yeah, I'm going to put in call. The flop comes 4 Jack 5 with 2 spades. Well, that sucks. I thought I was going to get some help, and help we did not get. But he checks to me. Okay, sure. I'm going to check behind. The turn is the 8 of spades, and that gives us a double gutter and a flush draw. That seems like a pretty good time to bet when he checks to me, so I bet for $15, and he puts in the call. The river improves us, but not really in the way I wanted. It's the deuce of spades. He now leads into me for $40. Now, one thing I didn't really think about as this hand was going down is he hasn't been showing a lot of bluffs, so I think it's probably like ace queen with the ace of spades, that kind of thing. But yeah, what is he calling with on the turn that's willing to bluff? Not a lot of hands. Eventually, I kind of level myself into putting in the call, and I could not have guessed the hand he had. Pocket 10s with the 10 of spades. Wow. I tell him, like, hey, man, that is like one of the thinnest, best value bets I've had on me ever. So really nice hand to him, and a great guy. We do see pocket aces near the end of the vlog. I open it up, but sadly, we get no callers. So I decide after that, hey, I'm going to call it. We were in for 400, had quite the swingy session, out for 579. So 2 sessions, 2 wins here at PH Social. If you guys can leave a like, leave a sub, as always, helps the channel so much. Really appreciate y'all. I will see you guys next time.